Hello everybody, this is Q with Quadology, just here to say a couple of things about the law of attraction. Now if you like what I'm saying, then give me a like and a subscribe, share me, send me to a couple of your friends, put me on your social media posts or whatever you want to do. I'm out here in nature right now, technically, because it's some street right here. What I want to tell you is that I just had an epiphany, a thought so deep that I didn't even understand it at first, and so I kept thinking and understood it myself. The law of attraction is not you just sitting there waiting on something to come to you. What the law of attraction is, and what has been said to be, even in the great mystic teachers and esoteric teachings, words, is that you must also put in the physical work toward what you are visualizing and meditating upon. Therefore, if I am meditating to meet a queen, an empress that matches my flow, my vibe, I know what I am looking for. And I have to kind of push myself into the lane in order to find that queen. I can't just be out here looking in the clubs, still doing the same things I've been doing. I have to be in the lane that is where I would be if I was that queen. You get what I'm saying? You have to visualize yourself from her perspective and yours as well. That visualization thing is very deep and it's very important. Now, I often visualize me and her, it's going to get a little graphic, conceiving our first child on a Lamborghini Urus. I refuse to settle for less. I don't want anything less than that. My first kid, I don't want to have them in any other way. I don't want to create them in any other way. That is the way that I would create a physical form of my child. In my mind, that is the way I would do it. So therefore, I have to push myself to become, it's hard to say, I guess, more protected. Watch what I'm doing, more diligent, more disciplined. I can't just go with any floozy and do anything in any kind of way and be drunk and high and just go with any chick. I have to also be more persistent in what I want and how I want it. So that means once I build up and I find that female that I think is the one, I have to also kind of, if that's what I really want, I have to wait until I get that vehicle in order to say, okay, this is where I want to be in life. This is exactly where I want it. This is how I'm going to do it, and this is how it's going to happen, and I finally have everything. So now is the time. So with that being said, you can't just visualize what you want. You can't just say I want this and just assume it to fall out of the sky, because the Most High is a very powerful being. The Elohim is I mean, they're working. Everything is moving in the stars for us. But if you aren't moving to follow where your path is in the stars, then how can you even expect to get to where you want to be? How can you expect to accomplish the things you want to accomplish? Another thing about the law of attraction that I was looking at is the fact that we are magnets. We magnetize whatever we want towards us. I've been thinking about, oh, I want more money. I want more money. I have 2 jobs, so therefore one of my jobs called me in. I went in. So, you know, instead of saying this is what I want and how I want it, you have to say this is what I have. I'm thankful for it. And if I could get something extra, then that'd be cool too. So with that being said, with the law of attraction, you really have to be patient as well as being diligent and persevering and persistent and disciplined. You know what I'm saying? You have to have these qualities. You know, you have to have the 7 fruits of the Spirit. You have to have love, patience, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control. You have to have those spirits. You have to have that energy up in your soul, which is your entire being. Your soul is not just the energy. Your soul is the entire being and everything about it. The spirit is the energy. The mind is what you use to communicate to the universe. And my words, these are things that I'm telling you that I feel are to be true. Also, what I've been paying attention to is that along with not just sitting there and saying you want this to happen and you're waiting on it, it's crazy. You might get what you want, but it's also about, are you ready for it? How will you handle it once it gets here? Because you may have a situation where you say, I want to meet someone who would mentor me and teach me things. I manifested someone that I didn't even expect to manifest. I manifested someone who thought like me as a like-minded friend or associate. And this guy turned out to be, I mean, I'm not judging him, but he was kind of pushy. I didn't like the pushiness, and I'm not trying to be a pushy person upon other people. I say what I say and I get it out the way type of thing. So when I say certain things, I don't expect people to just bow down and say, okay, well, you said this, we're going to do it. This person kind of expected that. And the way he said things, he was like, well, man, I used to be a convict, and now I'm trying to be a billionaire. I'm trying to be in mansions and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I understand that. That's where I'm at right now. But then it got to the point where it was demands being made in a, kind of cool way. Like, hey, we should go and get a place together. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like-minded person gets me out of a situation where I am right now, where I'm living with someone where I really kind of don't want to be living with. But the way that it was being approached to me was kind of a undesirable way. So I was kind of feeling like, okay, I'd rather just do it by myself, because I see me manifesting a mentor now that I feel as though can be a little bit more professional, a little bit more trustworthy, a little bit more disciplined, and not as pushy. Someone who doesn't really need me, but I can do things for them that they didn't expect me to be able to do. And that's what a mentor really is. You have to be able to give them something, and they get something from you in order to give you something, which is the teachings and wisdom that they have. Now, with that being said, you can't just say, I want this type of person, I want this type of person, and not be as detailed as you can be with the situation. You can't just say, I want this kind of thing. Oh, I want a car. I can't wait to get a car. I manifested a car before. One what I really needed. Well, it was what I needed at the time, but it wasn't what I could say. It was kind of what I wanted, something to start a business out of. But I didn't go as far as to say I would love a vehicle that would be mine. I just said I want a vehicle that I could build a business out of. And the pressure it put on me was paying over $500 in car note a month, and I didn't even have insurance on the vehicle. So that's just a couple of things I want to tell you about this law of attraction, because it does work. I attract things all the time. I'm not a billionaire yet, of course, because you see where I'm at. I'm standing. I'm not in my own land, but soon I believe I will have my own land as big as this. And this is a beautiful place where I am right now. It's kind of, quiet, desolate. Animals. We see deer around here once in a while. My apartments aren't too far away. Right now I don't have a vehicle because I gave that vehicle back because of the situation it was putting me in. I had the money, but I didn't like the people I was paying, so I let that go. Another story for another day. Mainly what I'm trying to tell you today is be positive, be thankful. I am always thankful. Even when I'm walking, I still smile. I can't help but to smile. This world is so beautiful. I look at the trees, I look at the animals, I look at the cars driving by, I look at the people. I'm a people watcher. I watch people and see the things that they do. And it's kind of funny to, kind of watch people and say, I can tell what they're thinking just by looking at them. I can tell what they're about to do. I can kind of see what type of person they are. But you should never look at the surface as well. So you have to have a balance in this law of attraction life type thing. You have to look at the person and say, okay, this might be what they are. Sometimes most times you're going to be right. But there are a lot of times where you're going to be wrong, where you're going to look at them and be like, well, I didn't expect that from this person. Because with this guy, he was kind of, he spoke and he spoke in Ebonics, which I understood. So with that, being said, he could say certain things and I'd be like, okay then, but he was an old school as well. So when it came to the knowledge that he had, he knew symbolism, he knew religion, he knew certain things that I didn't understand all the way. Words, he knew a little bit of etymology. Well, I say a lot of etymology, which I'm studying now, and I have been studying for about a year or so. So with that, being on the table, you look at this person and say, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that from them. But at the same time, you look at their character and you can only say, I kind of expected these things. When they do something off the wall or something on the wall or something, I don't know. But you look at this situation and you say, well, okay, I manifested this. How can I work with this? How can I use this situation to make my situation better? If it doesn't help you, you have to say, well, thank you anyways. But that's not exactly what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, well, I don't want that to the universe. The Almighty Spirit might look at you and be like, okay, cool, that ain't what you want. Let's take all this other stuff from you too. Because these aren't, it's not specific. If you're not being specific about the situation, everything could go to shambles or everything could come up. But also, certain things could go to shambles and certain things could come up. So you have to be specific about what you want. The kind of vehicle I want is a Lamborghini Urus matte black with red, gold, and green trimming, which I still don't know where the trimming gonna go, but it's gonna look nice, and I know what the inside gonna look like. It's gonna be Pacific. I don't even know what to call it. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, so I want you all to think very hard about what you're doing, the words that are coming out of your mouth, the thoughts that are going through your head, what you're feeding your mind, what you're feeding your ears, what you're feeding your spirit, what you're feeding your body, especially what you're feeding your body. Because as a vegan, and I've just now completely stopped eating meat and cheese, and I'm getting off of the snacks and candy now. I haven't eaten the Reese's, and that was my thing. Reese's was an addiction. I was eating the Reese's like every day at one period. So, at least 2 or 3. But anyway, so that's off the subject. You have to know exactly what you want in order to attract it to you. But on the other hand, in the physical, you have to know exactly what moves to make and how you should be acting and how you should react to certain situations in order to say, this is how I'm going to get it. So you can't just have a vehicle and just be driving down a dark road and not knowing where you're going, no turn signal, no nothing. You just driving straight and just hoping that you get there. You have to know exactly what direction you are going in. You have to know exactly what you want. You have to know what it looks like. You have to know what it feels like. Even if I don't know what a Lamborghini Urus feels like to be sitting next to me. I haven't even seen one in person. But you know something? I could feel looking at that metal on the car's dashboard right there above the glove compartment. I know what that metal would feel like. It says Lamborghini, so I kind of shape it in my mind to where I say, okay, this is what the L will feel like, this is what the A will feel like, this is what the M, so on and so forth. The wheel, I know what that would feel like because I've driven cars before. I know what generally wheels are made out of. If it's made out of wood, I just place that in my head and say, okay, I know what wood grain feels like, and rubber and things like that. I know what the car's lights will feel like. I know what the hood would feel like. I know what carbon fiber feels like. So if I wanted carbon fiber, I know what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really place these things in your soul and in your spirit and in your mind, and then you have to put it out in the physical with your body. You can't just do things and expect. You can't just sit there and expect things to come to you. You can't. It won't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There's a give and take. There's a physical and a spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance of everything. Everything balanced. Everything needs balance. Everything will be balanced, and everything has to be balanced. So I really want you all to take this in and understand what I'm saying, because looking at me right now, and a lot of people have watched my videos, I say a lot of affirmations, and I try to help as many people as I can. I got this GoFundMe going, GoFundMe.com/Quadree Carson, QuadreeCarson, if you would like to fund me. I also had a fundraiser at one point where I was selling these hats, and it was $22. I love that number, 22, because I'm 22. So I felt like it was a good price. Also, I have a podcast, the Quadcast actually is what I call it, because everybody called me Quad back where I'm from. But it's at Quadology on the Anchor.fm app /Quadology Quadcast. So that's QADOLOGY QADPO DCAST podcast. Whoa. Alright, cool. So I mean, if you listen to a lot of the things that I say, I'm trying to uplift you. I want to motivate you in order to grow. And I don't want you to, look at me when I'm at a better point in life and say, well, he got that because he had help or he did this. I have no help right now. My mom is in another state. That's the only person that was helping me at one point. She was sending me a couple bucks here and there, a couple 20s, maybe $100 here and there. But At the end of the day, I'm a grinder. I'm not a hustler, because to hustle means you're running and you're trying to find things, and you're moving a little too fast, you're not paying attention. I am grinding. That means I'm putting my nose to the gravel. I'm going hard. It ain't no stopping it. It's no stopping. I read, I write, I study, I work physically at these jobs. I do all these things. I go to school. So you can't say that he got there because of such and such and so and so. You have to say he got there because he did it. He got there because he did the work and he had the mental stability to move forward. And I want you all to be able to look in the mirror and say that about yourself. I don't want you to look in the mirror and say, man, I wish I could do this. I don't say I want to do this or I need to do that anymore. I say I'm going to do it and I will do it. Because if I keep saying I need to, that means, okay, well, you need to, but are you going to do it? I have to put a promise on myself. I have to make a vow. I have to have commitment and say, okay, I'm going to do it right now. I'm not going to stop until it's done. You have to get into your mind and reprogram. You have to listen to these affirmations as you go to sleep. World King on YouTube is one of my favorites. They have the visual affirmations and the words on the videos. Beautiful stuff. They have black people, they have white people, they have Hispanics on there. Everybody's on there. So it's not like I'm just looking at, people who I can't even imagine to be like, because they have a lighter hue. They're white skinned or light skinned or anything like that. They actually have brothers and sisters on there that I could relate to and say, he's doing it. He's hopping in a Lamborghini Huracan and a Phantom and a Bentley, and he's in a mansion, and he's in his nice hotel. So I can't say I can't do it. Shouldn't be in the lounge unless you say I can't say can't or something like that. I just made that up. Q quote. Anyways, I love you. I'm hoping everything goes well for you. You stay motivated, positive, spiritually connected to the source, the most high energy. I'm thankful for everything that's going on. I hope you are too, even with this coronavirus stuff. Ain't nothing gonna stop it. This is the best time to get money. I want y'all to be positive, stay focused. Checking out.